When I'm looking for a hearty, show-stopping vegetarian entree, I look no further than this spring vegetable galette. It is everything that you want that is evocative of this season. It has asparagus and peas, creamy goat cheese, some seasonal squash, just chef's kiss for the springtime. It's super easy, effortless, make ahead, all the things that you want when you are entertaining in these months. So hop in my kitchen with me today and let's make a spring galette. If you'd like the recipe for today's video, check the description box down below. It'll be linked. If you're interested in any of the products that we're showing in today's video as well, also check the description box. Our Shop My store will be linked down there as well. This recipe is definitely beginner friendly, and there's a shortcut that I'm gonna share with you in a second, but I don't want you to be intimidated by having to make a pie dough. Pie dough in a food processor is super straightforward and pretty easy, but if you don't have time to make a pie dough, don't wanna make a pie dough, I hear ya. You can just buy a really good quality all butter store-bought crust, and that works perfectly and no one will ever know the difference. But in case you want to make the dough from scratch, you're going to add to the bowl of the food processor some all-purpose flour, some cold cubed butter, a little bit of salt. We're going to mix this all together and we'll slowly add in some ice water just to help everything come together. So now that our butter has crumbled really well into our flour and salt, I'm just going to pulse in a little bit of water to help bring the dough together. And we're only bringing this together in our machine until a dough ball forms. So now that our dough has come together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this out of the food processor. I'm going to wrap it in some cling film and I'm going to let it chill out for about 30 minutes in my refrigerator. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare my filling ingredients. So for our filling, we're going to lightly saute our veggies just so that way we can give them a bit of a head start before they enter the oven. That will just ensure that everything is cooked through for your final dish. I've added olive oil to a large skillet set on medium-high heat. I'm going to add in some garlic, and to the garlic I'm going to add first our rainbow carrots. Our rainbow carrots are the toughest vegetable in this dish, so we just want to give them a bit of a head start and let them cook down with the garlic so they can soften up before we add in our more tender vegetables. Anytime you add another vegetable to the pan, just make sure you give it a bit of a season with salt and pep. Next up, I'm going to add in some yellow squash. I like to use patty pans in this recipe. I think that they're just so cute, and they're usually the first of the summer squashes to become available, but I know zucchini is available all year round, so use what you got. Next, we're gonna add in our asparagus. If your pan is looking a little dry, just add a little bit of water and that'll help ensure that your garlic doesn't burn, neither your vegetables, and it'll just keep everything kind of humming along. Just keep adding a little bit of water as needed, just to ensure that your filling ingredients don't burn. Also, if you do add a little bit of water, that's great too because it'll help steam the vegetables and help move things along. Lastly, I'm going to add in our snap peas. Now my indicator as to whether or not my veggies are done is to wait to see when my asparagus and my snap peas are nice and bright and very verdant green. And then you can just go ahead, kill the heat and let the veggies come down to room temperature so that way they don't melt the butter in your pie dough when you go to form the actual galette. Our veggies are fully cooked. I'm going to let them hang out and cool down. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and start rolling out our pie dough. To our vegetables, I also added a little bit of fresh thyme. Please feel free to add fresh herbs of your choice. It'll just help lighten and lift your filling. Now, our galette dough has been chilling for about 30 minutes. And I should preface this by saying, whether you are using a store-bought dough or making one from scratch, you're going to need to roll it out. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is unwrap my dough. And you just need a little bit of flour just to dust your board. This dough is on the wetter side, but she does roll out beautifully. So I'm just gonna dust the top of the dough and the bottom. And because the dough is on the wetter side, it can take a little bit of that extra flour that you're putting on your board. I'm not somebody who would ever tell you you need a rolling pin if you're not a baker and you're not somebody who bakes often. So use what you got. The best way to, in my opinion, is to start from the center and then roll out from there. It'll help prevent any cracking around the edges, and it'll help ensure that you get mostly even circular shape as well. Now, I'm not somebody who is all about precise measurements. You want something that is even thickness around all of the edges. If you're wanting a good guide to go off, 12 inches in diameter is what you're looking for in terms of being able to have enough space to fill your dough. Very happy with the thickness of my dough. An easy way to get your dough from your countertop or your cutting board to your sheet tray is to just roll it up onto said rolling pin adjacent or rolling pin item. And then just roll it back out onto your parchment lined sheet tray. As you can see here, my dough does not fit my sheet tray, but I'm not worried about that. We're gonna tuck up the edges of the crust, and so it'll fit nicely and snugly onto our sheet tray after we filled it. Before we go any further, I've gone ahead and started preheating my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. If you wanted to make this ahead, you could at this stage, after filling your crust, you could pop this in the freezer overnight or in the refrigerator overnight. Just make sure to tightly wrap everything and then defrost. And then from the refrigerator or from the freezer, you can go ahead and pop this in the oven. I'm going to lovingly and carefully and beautifully arrange my filling ingredients. Mainly, I'm going to ensure that my bigger ingredients, like my squash, like my carrots, that everything will lay nicely in the end. Now, if you are not a fan of an art school moment, just dump everything in the center, crimp it up, and throw her in the oven. Now that all of our vegetables have been added, we're going to go ahead and start crimping up the sides of our dough. You're going to make small folds along the edges, flipping up the edge of the dough, and then doing a little bit of a corner tuck around the edging to just ensure that nothing escapes your galette. This is a rustic dish, so no need to make this look picture perfect. And there we go. I'm just going to go ahead and add in my cheese here on top. You can also tuck cheese into the main part of the galette as well, into the base of the filling, just so that way cheese is not just on the top, it's all around. And last but not least, we're going to do an egg wash here. For the egg wash, it's just a little bit of water with a whole egg that's beaten. This will just ensure that our final galette crust has a beautiful golden crust. And this will also help to seal up the edges of our crust so they don't come apart in the oven. The egg wash is kind of like a 2-for-1. It's glue and it's your browning agent. Last but not least, I'm just going to sprinkle the edge of the crust with a little bit of flaky salt. I'm gonna pop this in the oven for about 40 minutes. Our timer just went off. Let's grab our galette right out of the oven and take a look at her. Our galette has come out of the oven, it's cooled down. I'm gonna garnish it and then we're gonna try it. For something like this, I love microgreens. You can get them at most grocery stores these days or at a specialty grocery store if you are having trouble finding them. They're fantastic, they're so good for you. If you want a video on how to grow your own microgreens or your own sprouts, let me know, hit me up, drop a comment down below, and I'm happy to share that with you. I am going to add in some edible flowers because I love edible flowers. They're just, to me, they're just the height of joy, and they just make everything look pretty. Let's crack into this bad boy, shall we? What's so nice about this is that the vegetables are tender, but they're still crisp. It's delightfully buttery and smooth. Your friends and family, if you make this for them, they're going to really think that you are a grade A level French patisserie chef. If you like this video and want to see more, please do hit like and subscribe. Check the description box down below. The recipe will be linked there. And of course, check out our Shop My storefront for any of the products that we featured in today's video. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today in my kitchen. It's been such a blast. And until the next one, have a great rest of your day.